Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel and thank you so much for watching today. If this is your first time guys, please do not forget the subscribe button is found beneath this place. All right, check below here. You are going to see the subscribe button. Please subscribe and equally like the video for us, because if you press the like button, YouTube is going to recommend and tell some people who are looking for similar content to come and watch this same video. All right, and if they watch the video, of course I'm going to get water to drink. Thank you so much for joining today. If you are just joining, my name is Milton and you are equally watching the Anointed Village Boy. Thank you so much. So let's talk again about the proof of funds to study in Canada. I am actually holding my microphone because I want you to go through the information properly with clear sound. There are various ways, all right, as an international student, there are various ways you need to show to the Canadian officials or IRCC that you have money, you have a lot of money to take care of your studies while you study in Canada. Now, the cases may not be the same, all right. Let me just say proof of funds vary, and depending on who and the method they are using to show that they are sponsoring you, or you showing that you are sponsoring yourself, it is a case-by-case basis. That is, the documents are not the same. So I'm going to take my time to explain to you again so that you understand what you are going to do. First of all, remember, I have always said that you can do your visa application yourself. If you are having difficulties getting admissions, fine, look for someone to get it for you. If you have difficulties doing the visa application yourself, look for someone to get it for you. But again, make sure you look for people that you can trust, that you know actually know what they are doing. There is somebody who has been reporting a case to me on my YouTube comment section. If you have been watching my videos since yesterday, you will notice that. So please, let's talk about the proof of funds, and I want to break it down to you. If you watch this video to the end, I'm telling you, my name is Milton Fonkwa. If you follow my teaching on this YouTube channel, you are going to get your visa. Remember, it is not all about the proof of funds. When you are filling the application, the details you enter on the website IRCC is very, very important. And again, your letter of explanation is very, very important. I always emphasize on this because it is a key paper that you must put it together. I have a video about it on this YouTube channel, so you can check it out and you do the right thing. Now, there are various ways the Canadian officials will need you to provide to show that you have enough money to take care of your studies. First of all, before you even start applying to a university in Canada, remember that you first of all need to have at least 10,000 Canadian dollars in your bank account. You can sponsor yourself. If you have been asking who can sponsor me or who are the people who can sponsor me, you can sponsor yourself. Your father can sponsor you, your mother can sponsor you, your sister can sponsor you, and your brother can sponsor you. All right, these are the people that I know that can sponsor you without any effect. Now, some people will be like, I have a company that wants to sponsor me, but remember, these people I just gave to you now, or the list I just gave, is the list that I know that they are correct. Remember, I'm not an immigration expert. All this information is to educate you, and it's all because of my educational experience and of course my research capabilities. So remember, I will always give you the best. If you need a one-on-one consultation with me, please book from the video description box and I will guide you on how to put in your documents. Remember, visa application, anything visa to Canada is done on the IRCC portal. All right, you can check it. Just type it on Google and you're going to see it. Now, you can sponsor yourself. I already mentioned the people that will sponsor you. And again, remember that you need a Canadian bank account in case you want to sponsor yourself, in case you want to show proof of funds. If your money is found in a Canadian bank account, then you are good to go. All right, because this is another method, but it looks so difficult. So I will boil down to the fact that you should have your money, or I'm going to talk about the fact that you should have your money in your home country. It's not a big deal. All right, but just make sure you follow and do the right things and the documentation, you put them together. Now, if you have guaranteed investment with certificates from a bank, you can still use it. If you have proof of student loans, you can still use it. All right, if you have a letter or from the school to show that they are going to be sponsoring you, you can use it, or from anybody, you can use it. Then if you have proof of funding, let's say if you have a fully funded scholarship, remember I said fully funded scholarship, not a part-time scholarship. All right, you can use it as well. But remember, even with a fully funded scholarship, you still need to show that you have at least 5,000 Canadian dollars, 3 to 5,000 Canadian dollars, because when you go into Canada, before your scholarship will be awarded to you, you must have been in school. How do you intend to pay your accommodation and feed yourself. So these are some of the things that you need to put into consideration. Now, these are the ways that people can sponsor you. Now, a very important document I need you to pay attention to is the bank statement. The bank statement is a document that you need to pay attention to. All right, this is the document that is going to prove that you have money into your account, and of course you are going to be sponsoring yourself from the money in your account. You can use normal conversion rate. Don't use maybe a black market rate in your country. No, this money must be in your account by the time you print the bank statement. I'm going to talk about some things that you need to pay attention to. Remember, the bank statement you are printing should be for the past 4 months. For example, if you are going to be applying for your visa in July, make sure you print the bank statement for July. Make sure you print for June, April, May, March, like that, from July backwards. All right, that is the past 4 months, but I will say that go for direct 6 months. It's very, very important for you to do this. Again, another thing you need to pay attention to is the influx of transaction into this account. All right, if you dump money into the account anyhow, you are going to be rejected. Remember, these are psychologists working on visa applications or on visa applicants. So you cannot just gather maybe 1 million, 2 million you bumped into the account, then you go and print it and you are going for visa application. My dear friend, they will reject your visa application. Please avoid rejection. There is someone telling me that she has been rejected from 3 different countries, UK, US and Canada, twice. And imagine, please avoid that. I'm talking about the influx. First of all, let me talk about these things here on how you are going to document the money. As a student, before you show proof of funds, know that you need 10,000 Canadian dollars. That is the money the Canadian government wants you to show them that you have it in your account, and that money is for living costs. That is not your tuition fee, living costs. So you have to put that into consideration. Now, that is for you as a student. If you are going to Canada as a student, let's assume now, how much is your tuition fee? Let's assume that you are applying for a diploma program for 1 year. How much is your tuition fee for the program? If the tuition fee for the program is maybe 3,000, let's say 13,000 Canadian dollars, 14,000, 15,000. Take 15,000 for 1 year. I mean diploma program for 1 year. You now need to add it to this 10,000. Now let's assume if your tuition fee is 13,000, it means that you're already dealing with 23,000. Calculate it, guys. Now, the next thing you need to know is that if you are applying for a diploma program for 2 years, but you need to prove that you have money for just 1 year. Otherwise, because a lot of people usually get confused with this, but if you have the money for your entire duration of the diploma program, put it in your account, but you need just money for your tuition fee for 1 year. Now, it boils down to students going for bachelor's degree programs. If you are going for bachelor's degree programs, put money for your 2 years tuition fee into the bank account, 2 or 3 years. All right, it's important. Diploma programs for 1 year, 2 years, master's program for 1 year, 2 years. These are the people. Then if you are going for bachelor's and PhD, which takes 3 to 4 years, put money for 2 years into your account plus the living costs. Now, let's say if you have kids, I hope you understood me. If you have kids, let's say you are going with a first child. If you and yourself or you and your child, you are going together, just know that you are going to add 4,000 Canadian dollars to the amount. Let's assume that you are going, you and your husband, you are going to add 4,000 Canadian dollars. It doesn't matter. The first person who is the dependent has to get a minimum of $4,000. All right, I hope you are understanding me. Then if you have another dependent, let's say you yourself and your husband and your one child or your son, you remember now you have 2 people going under you, so you need to add for the second person. Your husband is already having $4,000. Then the second kid or your first child, the only son or your only girl, is going to have $3,000. This is how you put it. Then you move like that below. All right. So let's assume that if you are going for a 1 year program, your tuition fee is 10,000 Canadian dollars. Your living cost according to the immigration is 10,000 Canadian dollars. That is how much? 20,000. Your first dependent, let's say your husband, is 4,000 Canadian dollars. Let's say your only child, 3,000 Canadian dollars. How much is that? 27,000 Canadian dollars that you need to prove into your account before you can move with these people to Canada. I hope you understand. Again, if you are going for a 1 year diploma program, Make sure you have that money in your account. Make sure you have money for living costs in your account. Make sure you have money for the first dependent in your account, and make sure you have money for the second dependent in your account, and the third dependent, the money moved down like that from 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. I hope you understand. Now, remember, this is the money you need as proof of funds into your bank account. You have not considered accommodation fee. All right. Let's just say accommodation is found within the miscellaneous, the money for living costs, but we don't want to consider that. All right, because we are trying to avoid rejection. Now let's look at accommodation. Maybe you'll find out an accommodation cost maybe $500 for 1 month. You multiply 500 times 12, you put money for accommodation in case you have it, but make sure you meet that minimum. Okay, you calculate and you add it, and at the total miscellaneous. But again, remember, the minimum is your tuition fee, then your living costs, then your first dependent, your second dependent if you are moving with dependents. I hope you get the point. So this is how much you need for proof of funds. Now let's come to the people that can sponsor you. Who are the people? I will go according to the order that I know. All right, the first person I would say is you yourself will sponsor yourself. Now remember, the money we calculated is now running to maybe 25, 26, 27,000 Canadian dollars. And if you have this money in your bank account, you are telling the embassy that you have this money, but you are not showing them how you got this money. Your visa will be rejected. Yes, you need to show them how you got this money, because you cannot be telling them that you have 27,000 Canadian dollars in your bank account and you are not showing them how you got this money. Remember, you must be making the account active. It must be there must be an influx of cash and outflow of cash. All right, like put and withdraw. You cannot do it every week. You can do it every after 2 weeks. All right, but you must show where the money came from into your account. For example, the common thing I usually tell people is, if you are a student and you have all this money into your bank account, all right, make sure you prove that you have a business. That is the easiest way you can prove. If you have a business, bring out all the business documents, the business registration documents, the tax registration documents, the insurance of the business, and all the other documents. This is how you go about it. All right, and you document. If you show this, of course you are good to go. You don't have a problem with the section now how you got the money. Now it's for you to explain how you are going to return back, because remember, when you are applying for this visa, you need to tell the officials to know at the back of their mind that you would always return. You need to make them understand that you will always go back to your home country after you finish the program. I was talking to someone a few days back on a one-on-one consultation, and he was like, Milton, I want to sell a property. How do I document this? Will it be a problem for me? Look, if you want to document, if you want to sell a property, I will explain more again. If you have a query, book an appointment with me and let's talk about it. All right, I will drop whatsoever thing I'm doing and I will call you. If you have a property you want to sell, all right, remember, you are going to be showing your bank account and you are going to show, they will check how your transaction history has been. If you sell that property and the money goes into your account, make sure whosoever signed that property, all right, that you sold the property to, the name corresponds. That is the first thing. Then make sure that the total amount that goes into that their account of that point, because if you sell, let's say if you sell a property for maybe 5 million and you just bomb the 5 million into the account, make sure you keep the receipt to prove that you actually sold a property and this is where the 5 million is coming from. It is very, very important. All right, if you earn money from any source and there are receipts, prove that as well. If you are working and you are being paid using pay slips, prove that as well. That is in the case you are going to sponsor yourself. All right, your business is very important. Or if you are working, show a proof that you are working. It's very, very important. Now, I already talked about the transaction history and how you are going to do with the issue of properties if you sell them. All right, it's very important. Keep the receipts. All right, keep the proof to show that that property was yours. Then keep the receipt to show that you sold the property. Very important. Now, who else can sponsor me again? Your father, your mother, your sisters, or your brothers and sisters. All right, now, how are they going to be sponsoring you? If your father is sponsoring you, let your father give you documents to prove that. Of course, he will be saying that he has that 27,000 Canadian dollars in his account, right? Yes. How is she getting the money? Does she work? Yes. Bring out the documents. Does she have business? Does she have a business? Yes, bring out the business documents. All right. Does your father has a business? If he is saying he is sponsoring you, bring out his business registration document or how he gets his money. Is very, very important. Please don't make an error with this. Same thing for your mother, same thing for your siblings. All right. It's very important. If you ask me again, should I use a business account or a personal account? I would say use a personal account, because there might be lapses in the business account, and before you know, remember, the amount you are printing, the day you are printing your bank statement, should carry the total amount, that 27,000, the money you need in order to study in Canada. It's very, very important. Please don't forget that. All right. Like I said, if you are going for a BSc program, make sure the money you are showing to the official should be 2 years or 3 years even of your tuition fee plus living costs before any miscellaneous. All right, for a 3 years program. If you are going for PhD, same thing. But if you are going for masters and diploma programs, that is 1 and 2 years, then I think you need just 1 year tuition fee to prove to the officials that you actually have money to spend while you study in Canada. So these are some of the things. The easiest common ways people usually say is, Milton, the money is in my account, what can I do? You already know what to do now. Some people will come and say, my father wants to sponsor me, what do I do? That is something you need to do now. Please, I have said that if you get information from me, make sure. Some people will equally, your spouse can equally sponsor you. All right, your husband can sponsor you. In this case, your marriage certificate will prove that he is your husband, and of course your birth certificate and his will also prove your relationship. It is very, very important. Like this, when you are doing this type of application, you should document documents that, or you should put documents that when they see, they will be convinced of what you are talking about to them. Don't maybe go and meet somebody that will give you a fake thing, and before you know, you are rejected. All right, there is someone who has been banned, who was banned for 5 years. She called me and we're talking. So please pay attention to all these details. They are very, very important as you go along for your search. All right, till we meet again in another video. Peace.